go from here. I would ask you what's next. They're here to listen as well. I need to address this in the scripture. There were Judge Tommy Walter Pratt was supposed to be here, but had a family matter that she had to attend. We have presiding judge Marilyn Morris, who's present, as well as Deputy Chief Eva Talasani. These ladies are powerful in the other room, more than equal to any of the men up here. So I'm sorry, Mrs. Smith and Ms. Porter, that they weren't here on the panel, but their spirit is impressive. Sorry. Next question. Then we'll go to the back.
Good evening. I think it's important for me that the panel do more listening than talking in a forum like this. And I say that to you for a few reasons. I was born and raised here in Indianapolis. I looked around the room and I didn't see enough faces. Hey, Mama Pat, how are you? I did not see enough faces that I know are community-oriented and community-rooted people. That's a problem, which means that not enough work was done to reach the important people in our community, who are the people who live among our community. That's one thing. When we think about the problems, it is very relevant when we think that it's even possible for there to be missing women. I understand that we all have family crisis and things that come up, but there are too many important and powerful women in this city for there not to have been a substantial representation of female energy. And there's a reason, because women like me, I have 8 children, and most women in this room know, if we're honest, we don't tell our black sons the same thing that white moms tell their white sons. So we need to see other women on that panel who can relate to the devastation that would be present when a mother has to bury her child at the hands of the betrayal of a public trust that you all represent. One thing. 2 things. When you really want to get to the root of what's wrong with that distrust between law enforcement and civilians, when you speak of the people who make it possible for you to have whatever meager budget you do have as them, when you're concerned about the people who aren't in this room, there are people who can't afford to be in this room. And it's a problem to someone like me that you speak of our fellow citizens in such concerning ways, because that's really the way you think of all of us. And that's the way, the line that got drawn not by the civilians, but by the police departments. You all drew the lines in the sand. And I take issue because I am first and foremost of all the things I am a mother. And I have to be real with you. I have to tell my children to defend themselves in whatever manner you force them to, when you stop them. Because cooperating with you has proven not to work. So it is offensive when you all sit in front of us as sincere as you genuinely sound. And I think each of these gentlemen here are genuinely sincere. But you don't have control of your departments. See, I'm responsible for my children. I gotta control them. But you gotta control your departments. And y'all don't do that. No, be easy. It's not because you don't have good people with well-intentions when they enter the academy. But after so many times of hearing how easily people who make bad decisions are spoken of, it becomes a culture. And it's not just white officers who abuse our children. Brothers, y'all need to know it. And we're not blind to that. So be very clear. Not every person who has a problem with law enforcement is uneducated. Not everyone was born in the hood. And not every one of them's mama put a pistol in their hand. But every parent worth their weight in chicken shit will defend their child with their life. So you should respect that. Be easy. Just own. We gotta own what is. And I'm telling you matter of factly, we speak of Ferguson. That's become a catchphrase around the country. In this room, we need to be real. Ferguson is about the size of Broad Ripple. Ferguson is not even the size of Indianapolis. It's the size of Beach Grove. We have watched this country's law enforcement descend upon its civilians in military fashion, and we've said nothing. And it's really not
not your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault because you pay the taxes and you keep telling them it's okay and you are afraid of your children and you won't tell them to get off your porch when they don't have a warrant and you keep calling the police on our children. If you correct your child, they won't have to. But if you come for my children, you better understand what you're coming for.